guys, we are live simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube tonight. Welcome. If you're joining us on Facebook, please take a second to hit that like button. And if you're joining us on YouTube, we always appreciate that you subscribe to the channel so that you will be notified when I either go live or upload a video to the channel. And if you know of anyone who is struggling with fasting or maybe interested in learning how to do intermittent fasting correctly and wants to join in our community, now would be a great time to go ahead and share this broadcast both on YouTube and if you're joining us on Facebook. If you are new, my name is Diane, and for the past 25 years, I have been helping women find nutritional plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best and live their most authentic life. And recently, I have been doing that through intermittent fasting, and now I have a course where I teach women how to incorporate intermittent fasting correctly so that they can reap the benefits of what intermittent fasting can do for us as women, and especially as aging women. Tonight, I have my special guest with me again.
I'm back.
My husband, Michael, is back, and tonight we are going to discuss couples and fasting and how we have learned how to sort of accept the differences that we have as a man and a woman in fasting, and how we've learned how to embrace each other's goals and desires with what we want to do with our own individual fasting, and how we're kind of incorporating that into our marriage and with what we're doing with our family, and how we kind of handle all that around social obligations. So I was the one who started fasting first. And I did it very specifically. I was doing it because I was suffering from some health problems. I've talked about that a lot here, where I was suffering from insulin resistance. I had just been diagnosed as pre-diabetic. I was having some sudden weight gain issues, definitely had some hormonal issues, and was just feeling horrible every day. And I knew that life was supposed to be better, but I wasn't quite sure how to figure out how to get myself there. And my poor husband was alongside me through all of those horrible days that I was having, and was probably worried because I was the health advocate in the family. I was the one who was making sure everyone was eating healthy. I made sure that we all were exercising, and I was the one that was always sort of professing all these things, yet I was also the one who was sick. And so he was watching me go from this healthy, vibrant woman to this woman who was suddenly becoming sick, and not really understanding why himself, nor was I, because I hadn't really changed anything with what I was doing with my lifestyle, but my body had been changing. And so he watched me go from healthy to sick, and then fortunately back to healthy. And so he kind of watched me go through that transition. A lot of it was experimental, and so he just kind of watched along the sidelines. And then when he started noticing the improvements in me, I think you were at that point sort of ready to kind of give it a try for himself. So Michael, why don't you share a little bit about what you saw going on in the journey, and how and when maybe you felt it was a time for you to kind of jump in and have it be something that we did together.
Well, I actually saw that it was starting to help you, but for me, I wasn't necessarily completely on board. I mean, because I'm so used to like temporary things, like, you know, working out really hard, getting into a certain kind of fad diet or whatever. I mean, I'm so used to that over the years, gaining 20, taking 20 off. So to me, this is a new thing, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go along with it, but temporarily. I mean, it's not something I'm going to be doing permanently when we start talking about fasting. But when I started to learn the science behind it was where I really got interested in fasting. And then seeing that it was helping her, knowing the science behind it, and then actually trying it and finding out that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, that's when I kind of became all in, but probably at different levels than, would you say, than what you do.
And what would you say was your biggest fear or caution with fasting for you?
I can tell you my biggest fear was I don't like to be hungry. I like to eat. If I'm hungry, I like to eat, you know, and I know what I like to eat, what I enjoy eating, and like I didn't want to like give that up to like, you know, I kind of thought it would be like a starvation diet is what I had in my head when that's what I related fasting to, was, well, this is something you're just not going to eat. You're going to be miserable all the time. I'm sure we've all been on diets, right, where you just feel miserable because you're following a food schedule and you know you're dying. You can't wait for the diet to be over and go back to your regular ways. So I didn't want to do that. So that's what I thought it was at first until I started doing it and finding out that it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Okay. And what would you say now? I mean, we've been fasting successfully together for probably about 6 months or so. What would you say it has done for us as like a couple, and what it's done for us socially, and how it kind of makes its way into our house?
Well, I would say as a couple, like I feel way more relaxed about what I eat. I mean, like we still eat clean, we eat good food and all that. But I'm a type of guy, I like to have a pizza and a beer on a Friday night or Saturday or whatever. And I don't feel like, so guilty about it. I would before. I would feel guilty like, oh, I'm kind of going off of my food plan. And then you feel like, you feel so guilty about having a beer or having a slice of pizza. Now I feel like, hey, I've been doing well all week. I've been fasting all week. I'm gonna have my draft beer, preferably an IPA, and a slice of pizza. You know what I mean? And it's okay. I feel like I can be more flexible and not feel like, it's the end of the world or feel guilty about what I'm eating.
And then how do you think, from your perspective, how do you think your jumping in with intermittent fasting has been able to help me and what I need to do at this stage of my life, and how I've chosen to be an intermittent faster forever? How do you think your part in that is going to help me as your wife?
Well, it definitely helps because I know there's been times like, especially going out to dinner, I know at first it was like, what do you mean you're not going to eat anything? It's, and here we are as a family, it's our night out. It's kind of like you're spoiling a good time, like, why are you not going to eat? But now I think we understand, like, if there's a time, like, say a Saturday night, I'm going to have draft beer and a slice of pizza, and the pizza's gluten and she's not going to eat gluten, then I'm okay with that. I'm cool. I mean, like, if she sits there and has a water or whatever, a Gucci water, then, I mean...
Or salad.
A salad or whatever, I'm fine with that, And I'm not going to interrupt what she's trying to get done because you don't fully understand, like, the whole protocol of what's going on. But, I'm okay with that now. So I think that's helped you, knowing that, I'm not going to jump on you like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean? Come on, it's Saturday night,
Right. And then the other thing that I think that we've really grown in relationship wise or maturity wise with what we want to do with our diet and nutrition and health as aging people together is that we don't sabotage each other. So just like he's not going to guilt me into eating pizza if now he knows what eating pizza does to me. It makes me sick. So he doesn't guilt me into eating that. I don't deprive him from it either. And then what we found is that Michael has a lot like looser guideline, I guess, to follow with his intermittent fasting. So he eats breakfast every Saturday and Sunday. He's away from home. He has this break at work and he goes to this place that he loves and he has breakfast on Saturdays and Sundays. And that's his time to kind of not fast. He doesn't fast on the weekends. I used to not fast on the weekends either because I wanted that flexibility with my family. And then what I found over time was that I am just better. I feel healthier. I feel more consistent and stable with what I'm doing when I don't have breakfast on the weekends. And so my family just knows that I just fast all day and then I'll eat dinner and snacks with them in the evening. And Michael doesn't strong arm me into going to have breakfast with him. He asked me to come join him and I'll have a cup of coffee. But I don't necessarily get guilted into doing something that I don't feel is good for my body because he now understands the science behind it and the benefits, and he's seen the improvement in me. And I don't force him to do longer fast if he is better at shorter fast. So he generally breaks his fast at 2 in the afternoon. I like to break my fast at 4. And we just know that about each other. And so we don't get in each other's way, and we have this nice respect for what he feels comfortable with and what I feel comfortable with. And he gets really great results with that. If I fasted for 16 hours, that's not my sweet spot. My sweet spot's now at 20 hours. So if he's fasting 16 or 18, that's his sweet spot. He's comfortable there. He starts to get a little uncomfortable at the 20-hour mark if he does it too consistently. I respect that about what he wants, and I don't force him to go any longer out of his own comfort zone. So I think it's really important that when you're fasting as a couple, that you understand and you communicate with each other what each person's goal is and what their own comfort level is. And so I would never ask Michael to give up something that he's comfortable with or what he enjoys. And he enjoys his Saturday and Sunday morning breakfast. I love that for him. He also knows that I enjoy a fasted state. I love the weekends where I don't have to worry about food and I can go for long periods of time and not eat. And he loves that I'm happy and energized and healthy. And so you have to really make sure that you're communicating well with your spouse and you're not forcing your goals or your beliefs on them and then kind of forcing them to kind of back out of it because they're not comfortable and aren't able to find their own sweet spot or where they're comfortable at. And so we've really grown in maturity in that, and my family's super cool about it. I've gone to breakfast with my entire family and had a cup of coffee and water, and my family is cool because they've seen me sick and now they see me happy and well and energized, and they would much rather have me drink a cup of coffee and be energized and happy than have a big old breakfast and be sick and be laying out in bed. So I think communication is key when you're trying to work out a schedule with your spouse or your significant other or anybody else that you're living with, and make sure that you understand your goals and that you can express those clearly, and then listen to the goals of your spouse or significant other and make sure that you're respecting their goals as well so that you can kind of live in harmony with what you're doing with fasting. And then we love that we have all this extra time. Now, Michael's not slowed down by needing to eat breakfast during the week when he's home with us and the family. I'm not spending a bunch of time in the kitchen prepping food like I used to all day Sunday. We have a lot of extra money, so now we have flexibility to do some things together as a couple and as a family that we didn't have when we were wasting a bunch of money on food that was unnecessary for us. And so we've really found it to be more like a hobby for us that we have really grown to enjoy together and are supporting each other, and it's been really fun. So we've had some reports back from some of the women that have gone through our course that they've kind of used it in that way as well to kind of strengthen their marriage and bring something fresh and new in that you can work on sort of as a project together and use as sort of a hobby, and then the extra free time you have and the extra money that you have you can spend doing really fun things in your marriage or doing some things that you maybe wanted to do and you couldn't do before. So we've really enjoyed it, and we're excited about doing this forever. So let me see if there's any questions or comments. I'm going to go Facebook really quick, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly and just answer any questions that are relevant to tonight's discussion because Michael has to get to bed here in a little bit. Let's see. Mary, you are welcome. Let's see. Any questions or comments? Loving the couple's perspective. Yeah. And tomorrow night you'll have to jump back on with us because tomorrow night we're going to talk about how to specifically get your husband or wife or spouse or significant other to start fasting with you. And I'll kind of share, Michael and I will share with you what we did when I was kind of wanting him to jump on board and he was still sort of nervous about it, and how I eased him into it and what we did to get him there. So we'll share that tomorrow if you guys want to jump on back with us. Susan, my husband's very supportive of my efforts but has no interest at all in fasting. He's not overweight and has no health issues. Then Susan, I say respect that. And just ask for the same courtesy back, and then know that there could be some times when you can be flexible if you want with your fasting, and just pick times that you can have a date with your husband that's maybe centered around a later breakfast or some other social things where you're not completely cutting him out.
Excuse me.
Bless you, but that you guys can still have that mutual respect for what it is that each one of you want. Let's see. How long into IF did you allow yourselves to have a treat, pizza, etc.? How often do you have sweets as a treat? Okay, so Angela, I don't believe in saying that there's good food or bad food or denying yourself of anything that you want. I believe and I teach that you should listen to the signs and the signals that your body is sending you about nutrition. So what I have found is that gluten and soy make me very sick. And so I choose not to eat pizza, not because it's a bad food, but because there's gluten in it, and oftentimes there's soy in the cheese. So the only gluten that I choose to eat at this point is gluten-free pizza, and then I'm very specific about that as well because oftentimes that has soy in it. So I just don't have pizza because of the ingredients in it, not because I think pizza is bad or it's off my diet list or any of those kind of things. My husband isn't affected by gluten, so he eats gluten.
But I have to say something.
Yeah.
Especially to my guys out there, there's been a long time that we've been doing this, that I think that I'm okay with eating soy and eating gluten because it doesn't affect me the same way. But I can tell you that 1,000 paper cuts will kill you. And I know now that I do get affected by those things, and I'm trying to change that a little bit. There's a lot of times we'll go out to have pizza, and I'll have gluten-free pizza because I know it does affect me, and I can feel it at night when I go to bed, and I wake up. You think only women have night sweats. Man, I can have some pizza and have some frozen yogurt afterward. I'll be in a full night sweat. So it's not just it's not just a female thing. And I'm telling you, I'm starting to realize that it does definitely have an effect. You might not think that it does, but it does.
Yeah, I think it's the slow, the feeling bad all the time becomes your norm. You don't really understand what feeling good is like, and then you get a taste of what feeling good is like, and then you have something that affects your body in a negative way, and then you really make the connection of what it's doing to you. Peggy, I am not imagining having a spouse that would support this and or actually do it too. How nice that he would be. Yeah, it took a while. He wasn't against it because this is what I've been doing for a living since we've known each other. But he just wasn't really thinking it was going to be something he wanted to do. He didn't see the benefit for him. So it took a little while of just watching me for him to realize that he could benefit too. Susie, I'm in the August 1st group and decided to have 3 beers on Sunday and was down 1 pound on Monday. I was very surprised and happy. Okay, so remember, having 3 beers on Sunday doesn't mean that was the result of a weight loss on Monday. Oftentimes that weight gain can set in a couple days later. So just don't celebrate that too much because there's really no advantage to having 3 beers on a Sunday night other than, I guess maybe if it's just something that your body can handle. Becky, August 12th class, did awesome, not hungry, losing weight, got my collagen peptides, good call, love vital proteins. Awesome, good. Keep me posted on the vital proteins, Becky. I want to hear how you're feeling about how your skin is doing. My husband eats what I eat and has become more healthier, and he is feeling so much more energy. Awesome, Joy. It just gets better. Okay, I think that's it. No, let me see. Andrea, mid-July class. Lucky to have a hubby who supports my eating goals and helps cook. He's getting healthier too. Awesome. That is awesome. Let's see. I only eat gluten-free pizza too. Great, Angela. And a little word of caution for my cauliflower pizza people. Trader Joe's, everyone's all excited because Trader Joe's had a cauliflower crust pizza.
That thing is nasty.
Okay, well, we had the cauliflower pizza, the actual pizza. It was nasty. But I chose the cauliflower pizza over the cauliflower pizza crust, so just the crust, because I read the ingredients label on the cauliflower pizza crust, and there is soy lecithin in it. So read those labels carefully. You think you're getting something great by getting a cauliflower pizza crust, and sure enough, there's some soy in it. So read those labels carefully, and shame on you, Trader Joe's, for doing that to us. Joanne, do you think IF helps to identify food sensitivities? Is it easier to monitor reactions to food when you aren't eating constant all day? I say yes, and when you have a shorter eating window, I think you have an opportunity to make less mistakes. Like you don't take a chance on eating something that you're going to have a reaction to, or things that are known for causing reactions when you have a short eating window. And that's what we teach in our course, is to really take some foods out that are known intolerances, and then reintroduce some foods, and then see how you feel when your body has been able to kind of flush through some things and get yourself in a healing state. And then it'll be really obvious that you're having a reaction. Dina, you make your own cauliflower pizza. Well, good for you, girlfriend. No soy in that one, I'm sure. Okay, let's see what we got over here on YouTube really quick. And I'm only going to do the things that are pertinent to tonight's discussion. Oh, Yvonne, thanks. Okay, let's see. Perth, Australia is here. Yay for supportive husbands. My hubby started IF first, and then I jumped. So awesome to have partner in this journey. Yes, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm from the July group. You are both adorable together. Oh, Mary, thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful. My hubby supports my IF and keto way of life. Awesome. Love to cycle. It's hard not to be jealous since men lose quicker, but this is a good lesson in patience and self-awareness. Yeah, okay, that just goes back to the whole don't compare yourself to others. Like, we have different hormonal systems, we have different caloric needs, we have different metabolisms. There have been plenty of times when my husband and I have done things, and he may have lost more weight, but my physique changed more significantly. So we have completely different body frames and chemistry. And so, I can cut out one thing and my abs will pop. My husband has to do a lot more effort to get the same results. So yeah, he may lose weight, but then I have things that I can achieve faster as well. So we try not to compare and contrast and beat each other up and be jealous of each other, because that's just not healthy in a relationship in general. So I always say praise your spouse for whatever accomplishments that they have. Make sure that they're feeling loved and cared for, and then they'll do the same in kind. So we just got to remember that we're very different creatures. My hubby has slowly jumped into IF with me. He's usually a 16-8, occasional 24, but he feels great and is psyched about this way of life, style, and a whole new topic for us to talk about. Yes, it's so refreshing. For us, it's so easy. Maybe we are the exception. We do 16-8 so far every day. My wife has done 3 straight weeks of this and is feeling so much better. Me too. You are the inspiration here. Patrick. I think it's Petrick. Congratulations. Deborah, love fasting with my husband, and his sweet spot is 16 and mine at 20, us too. Also, and it works. He just eats a little earlier and I choose to wait, and he eats again with me. Yep, that's perfect. Let's see. I'm having a really hard time with IF. Any suggestions to help me get started? Reach out to me. We'll see what we can do. Christine, my husband jumped on board quick and is liking the results. Yep, that's awesome. And here's the thing. Let's not compare ourselves to our husbands. Let's just be grateful that we have a husband that wants to be healthy, right? I mean, there are so many wives out there that are so frustrated and so scared and are having to deal with sick husbands. And I feel super blessed that my husband has always been very open to jump on any crazy thing that I've done with diet and nutrition and fitness. And so I totally appreciate him for what he's doing to not only support me, but to also take care of himself, so that I don't have to be that worried wife and have to worry about taking care of a sickly husband down the road. Like, we know that we are going to be by each other's side and we're going to be very active, and we can't wait till we're in those retirement years and we're running around with grandkids and traveling the world, and we're not worried about health limitations slowing us down. So we're in this journey together because we have this vision of what we want our life to be 10, 15, 20 years down the road, and it's not, tied to medicine, and it's not tied to home, and we want to be adventurous and do a lot of great things that we need to be healthy for. So we do it for each other, and we do it for our future, and like I always say, we do it for the grandkids we don't have yet, because we're in our 50s and our kids are young, and we want to make sure that we're around and active and energetic for those grandkids that we're going to have as well. Okay, so let's see. I'm loving IF, feeling so much better, and I'm having a headache mid-afternoon. Thoughts or ideas? Sometimes it's just a detox thing. It's hard for me to say what to do to get rid of things when I don't really know what you're doing. So I'll kind of refrain from answering that. You're probably going through a detox. Okay, so tomorrow night we are going to talk about the journey that we went on and how I really got Michael to experiment with intermittent fasting, and I'm going to teach you some tricks, ladies, some things that you can do on the sly if your spouse is a little bit hesitant, and how you can get them on board without it causing any havoc or tension in your relationship. So jump back on with us tomorrow night. Michael will be back here with me, and he'll kind of share his experience with the first days of fasting and what we did to kind of get him through that. And then if you are interested in joining the course, registration is open for next Saturday. We're starting a new course every Saturday, so it's really convenient for you guys to jump in now. And just really quickly, because I had a couple questions today about this is not the course. So if you are jumping in with us on the course, it is not anything that you have to meet up here with us at a specific time on a live broadcast. It's all done online, and you do it at your own time. So, definitely don't worry about time constraints or location restraints. It's all online, and it's all done at your own time. This is just something special and extra that I like to do to open up the community and share some information for those people who aren't necessarily course taker kind of people. So this is all stuff that we do to just kind of help the population and the community of aging women, and now couples that are wanting to get healthy and live a fit and healthy lifestyle. So thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you leave those comments and questions if you're catching this on the rebroadcast. Make sure you hit those like buttons and share buttons. And the more people we have in our community, the more we can do to create change, the more we can do to make sure that we are all aging gracefully and that we have happy, healthy spouses and happy, healthy children and a happy, healthy life. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Good night.